Chad Moyer with you here on the Rural Radio Network. It's time for another Fridays in the Field segment. It's brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank. And once again, we're visiting with Creston area farmer Bob Larson, who happens to be outstanding in his field today.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, thanks for joining us here today. First of all, just the 6-week update. Since we visited with you about a month and a half ago, tell us what's transpired here north of Creston.
Yeah, right now we're busy just trying to keep pivots running and keep some water going on stuff. We've been blessed with some timely rain around here. We've got all our fertilizing done on our corn. We do some wide drop in there, so we got all that done here a couple weeks ago, and got some spraying done on some beans, and so we're sitting pretty good right now, I guess. So,
have you had to deal with any disease or insect pressure yet this season in the corn and soybeans?
We're seeing a little bit of rootworm beetle coming in on corn, but nothing to threshold yet. So we're going to be spraying the start of next week. So we'll come out and we'll bomb some of those just to completely knock them down and get a fungicide out here.
Yeah.
So
we'll talk about that here in just a moment as well. Just kind of the update now. I think you said we're through 3 cuttings of alfalfa. Yeah. How has the forage harvest been?
You know, it's been really good quality. The tons, just with we haven't got a ton of rain out here, so it's kind of limited it, but the quality's been really good on the hay. So I guess as a dairy, that's kind of the give and take of it. Is, you know, a lot of times when you don't get the tons, but you still get some of the quality off of it. So we're happy with it, what we've had so far.
Sure. Okay, well, let's talk about that, expand on that a little bit more about how your cropping operation, and you know, that's why we've been talking to you this year, is because of the experimentation and the learning that you're doing in your cropping system. But this cropping system really does support, it's designed to help support the dairy side of your operation too, right?
Yeah, it is. That's a lot of our crops go to making feed for the cows. So that's a lot of what we grow that way, and then kind of the fun side, to fertilize the crops, we use a lot of the manure that we get off the cows to put that on the crops to provide some of the fertilizer. But yeah, a lot of the corn and grains that we grow are for feed. So
happen to be one of 3 or 4 dairies in the state of Nebraska to utilize a robotic dairy, a robotic milking system. Tell me the learning curve on that. Yeah. How has that been?
Yeah. The robotics, there's quite a learning curve. It's a completely different way of milking cows. So I'm sure a lot of people have saw it, but if you haven't, it's kind of a lot different, where the cows actually come to the robot to milk themselves. So right now, there's 250 cows in our barn that are milking themselves. There's not one single person in the barn milking the cow. So it's kind of a different philosophy. So we were the 3rd one to start it in the state. The first one started exactly a year before us. So we started in 2018 with this robot. 2017 was the very first one in the state of Nebraska to have it. So it's relatively new technology for the state. So
I've heard it said the robotic dairy is low maintenance, but it's not necessarily no maintenance. How often, or what sort of management, how did that change how you manage the dairy?
Yeah, so it is lower maintenance, but what we kind of see is somebody's got to be on call 24 hours a day. Those robots milk 24 hours a day. So it has a dialer, it has, you know, somebody to call you if something does go wrong, and it can be the smallest of little things. Most things require, it's just like your, I don't want to say VCR, because VCRs are old school, but DV,
just like your TiVo or whatever.
Yeah. So it's got a play, a pause, and a stop button. So when something happens, it'll pause itself. You come look at it, and most of the time we'll just push the play button and it'll start milking. But it can't decipher between what little things happen, or if a cow kicks it wrong or something. So it'll shut down and tell you, hey, somebody better come look at me. Hopefully everything's all right, and if we'll start back up. But that's 24 hours a day. So I mean, that can be in the middle of the night. That can be, you know, during whatever. So
sure. Has it changed your production or your components at all?
You know, from where we were an older dairy. We were milking 350 cows in a double 12 herringbone barn. So everything was older. So, you know, when we rebuilt in 2018 we built everything new. So number one focus we were going to do is what's going to be the best for the cow. So it's a tunnel of ventilated barn, got a nice breeze that goes through there all the time. Cow comfort, it's nice free stalls, plenty of bedding, and the bunks right there for the cows to eat. So it's milking, laying, eating. I mean, they've got it made with everything in there. So we'd anticipate that everything should go up off of it. Now, the robots are low stress on the cow, so they do help the cow that way, just because there's really nothing that is you know, influencing that cow's life. She just wants to come up and milk on her own and go that way.
Sure. All right. Let's switch gears a little bit, and I guess kind of look forward here. We're going to talk to you next in the harvest season. So what's going to happen next for you? You said there's another round of fungicide application, but there's also some experimentation and learning that's going to happen yet this summer. Tell me about that.
So I got these in my pocket here, but I'll bring them out. So we've got these little temp and humidity sensors. So we're gonna activate these on our phone, and it's Bluetooth. But we're gonna come under the canopy, and we're gonna put a couple different areas of these, Chad, and we're gonna measure the temperature and the humidity underneath the canopy. And what we're really looking for here is we're gonna put fungicide on it, and then we're gonna leave a strip where we don't have fungicide. So what we want to experiment and try to learn is, does fungicide lower the canopy temp? Does it change the humidity level? What's actually happening when fungicide goes on to that plant? What is changing it? So we're going to put these out here. We're just going to zip tie them right around the ear under the canopy kind of, and just monitor the temp difference between where we put fungicide and where we didn't, and just see if we learn anything off of it. We're not really sure what we're going to learn off of it. This is really just something that we kind of wanted to know what's actually happening with fungicide and where we're going with it.
Yeah, because that's one of the arguments about a fungicide application, right? Is plant health and getting that crop to its full maturity and to its highest yield. And this is a way of kind of understanding real time what's going on with it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've got a lot of stuff we can monitor the moisture in the ground and that, but we really don't measure the temperature of where the ear is of the plant. So we thought, well, let's give it a shot this time and see what happens. So
okay, with the dairy, I would imagine chopped silage is a big forage source. How far away are you on that?
3 to 4 weeks out on that. It's going to kind of depend on the weather. If it stays pretty sunny and hot, it's going to be 3 weeks, and we'll be chopping. If we get a little cloud cover, we'll be closer to 4 weeks. So,
okay.
But
as far as the crops that you're going to take to grain now, what's got to happen between now and then for that to be successful?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to need a little bit of help from Mother Nature on some rain. I think the last I looked, I think we're about 8 inches of rain that it still takes to finish the crop out on most of our stuff. So still takes quite a bit of water to get us to the finish line on that. So we're going to do that. We're going to try to keep the plant healthy. We're going to keep the bugs off of it, and just hopefully Mother Nature cooperates with us. So
yeah, absolutely. Bob, it's good to talk to you. Thanks for the update. Appreciate it much.
Yeah, thanks, Chad.
Again, we've been visiting with Bob Larson from Creston, Nebraska, dairy farmer, and again, experimenting out in his field on different aspects of cropping systems and crop production. And that's this week's update from Northeast Nebraska, here brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank, on the Rural Radio Network. Chad Moyer reporting.